Welcome to Qwiklabs. Now it's time to get hands-on practice on a lot of the amazing data analyst concepts that you've learned so far. Here's where you get to prove that you've learned some great technologies, and then you'll get credit for it back inside of Coursera. But before you jump right in, let me just give you a quick walkthrough of what a Qwiklab is, and then we'll get started. First and foremost, in the upper left-hand corner, you notice a gigantic tempting button called Start Lab in green. I want to go ahead and start that. Click this box that says, I'm not a robot. Select a few of the different items here for captures. You can see this is the hardest part of the lab, is trying to actually get through the anti-robot technology that they have here. Now, a couple things happen in the background. As author of these labs, this is some of our best work that we're getting you hands-on practice for. And what we're going to do next is just make sure that that timer starts counting down, because then that's going to give you the account logins that you need to practice the work inside of the lab. Now, here's what you're going to do. There's going to be a gigantic big button that says Open Google Cloud Console. I want you to go ahead and click on that. And now you have 3 browser tab windows open, or 100 if you're like me. And in the second browser, this is your Qwiklabs login. All the way under username, what I want you to do is copy that username. And here's the #1 mistake that I've seen students make. When you're back into Google, everyone sees this Google sign-in screen here, and they immediately start typing in their personal Gmail address. You don't want to be charged for any of the resources that you're going to be using. That's why we're providing you with this Qwiklabs account yourself. And all I'm going to do is paste in the email that's been given to me by the Qwiklab for use for an hour, and then click Next. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the password, paste that in here. And then you're going to see a bunch of terms and conditions because this is a brand new account. Scroll through the terms and conditions, read them at your leisure, click Accept. And as you work through the terms of service here, eventually you'll land on the homepage for Google Cloud. Scroll down, read the terms of service, accept terms of service. All the steps that I'm walking you through right now are also available inside of the lab written instructions as well. So once you've gotten that out of the way, let's take a look at what this particular Qwiklab is going to teach you. At a high level, I'm not going to do the lab for you, but don't worry, it's step by step. You'll have a blast doing it. And you have way more than enough time you need in this timer before your lab timer runs out. Generally, as lab authors, we try to double the budget of allowed time, so don't worry about lab timeouts. So inside the lab, every lab will start with an overview, and then what specifically it is that you're going to do. Inside of this lab, since you're a data analyst, you're going to be creating spreadsheets and adding files and sharing files with some of your other data analysts. If you forget what section you're in, another pro tip that I like to do is on the right-hand side, you can actually click between each of the different header sections right here as I'm doing now, and you can jump to a particular section inside of the workbook. So say you and your friends are working on this together, you can say, hey, I'm having trouble on the share and collaborate section. You can just click on that and it'll jump right to that section. Well, that's pretty much it. A few more housekeeping items and then you're off to the races. As you work your way through the lab, you want to make sure that you're completing the objectives and making sure that you're staying on track. There is intelligence built into the Qwiklabs to prevent any kind of behavior that's not part of the lab. So make sure you're following the lab as is. And when you're done with the lab, say I was completed here, all you have to do is click on End Lab, click on OK, and that's going to bring you to a pop-up screen that asks you to rate the lab, add in any comments for the lab authors like me, submit it, and then automatically your score for the work that you've done in the lab is fed back to Coursera, which is pretty cool. And that's it. That was a quick tour of Qwiklabs, about 5 minutes, but honestly, you'll have a blast going through these. Good luck.